Hello, this is David Vodden, President and CEO of Thunderhill Park. I'm going to take you around a lap of the 3 miles of adrenaline, Thunderhill Park, in my 1800cc Spec Miata and give you some pointers and tips on how we drive this track. We're right now at the beginning of the straightaway exiting turn 15. Off to the right is the pit exit, so some new people sometimes have to figure out where that is, but we've been there and done that, so we'll just get going down the straightaway. The idea here, of course, is to maximize your forward motion, your speed, throttle buried on the floor, exiting bearing to the right. The objective is to minimize the arc of the turn. This is a little off camber, so I'm not sure that that's always a good deal. We just apex turn 1. Turn 1 is a nice fast corner with an uphill exit, and the thing about turn 1 is you can go through faster than you think. So this is a corner where you're going to learn to go faster and more efficiently or more effectively. As with all corners, we turned at the ideal point for us. We apex the corner in order to provide the best possible exit, and of course exiting a corner on a road race track is the most important, because what we want to be is on the gas as soon as possible. For me, this is exit speed 6,200 RPM in this 1800cc Miata. Turn 2 has what we call a couple of options. We enter it mid-track and late apex it. Late apex is the term for actually touching the inner side of the corner at the latest part of the turn. You'll see that at a typical circle track corner, you might come in lower and basically arc around the interior line, the low line. But in this case, for speed, momentum, and exit, we're going to enter in the middle of the track and bring the car down. And sometimes we actually put a wheel almost off right there, and then the car carries out to the exit curb. Again, always they'll tell you in training classes, use the whole track. So turn 3 is fun. It's an off-camber, which throws people, because I don't know of another off-camber turn in motorsports, certainly not in Northern California's recreational track market. It's off-camber. It's a little bit blind as you can't see, and we're turning to the right. So this is another one of those where you can enter mid-range in the corner, or you can enter down on the extreme right side and basically curve around on the pole or the inner line. We're going to enter in the middle of the track and late apex this turn. This leads to 4 and to 5, so not a lot of speed or opportunity here, but in terms of going faster, optimizing your forward motion, but there are opportunities to pass, and so this becomes a fun area from here to 5 for passing of people who are doing different things than you are. So we'll bring this car down to this area, and of course we have the benefit of the cones. Apex there, turn in there, brush this one a little bit, and then head up to 5. So 5's a great corner primarily because it's so blind. This is like a ramp, and if you're doing this for the first time, you think you're Evel Knievel, because there is no evidence of a track on the other side of your blind spot. So the cones actually are the turn-in point. The mission is to brake, turn, shift, and go, and to be driving out of the turn at the apex, which is as you'd expect on the left side curb. The car gets light when you crest this hill and start down, so inputting data after your car gets light is not as effective as doing it brake, shift, turn, and then go. So we'll apex to the right, turn across the corner, and come out a little bit on the right again. Again, using up a lot of the track. This is a second gear turn in a Miata, and so we're going to short shift going down 5. One, because we can, and there's no reason to run the gear out, and there's an optimum place for shifting, because whenever you're turning and shifting, especially on an up and down elevation change, you have the higher potential for missing the shift. Okay, apex right there, come down, use up the track. This one, now we're going up to turn 6, and we want to bear to the right and get all the way over, but I don't bring the car over in such a way as to cause friction or to work the tires against the pavement. The reality is you can feel this car, and when you're starting to work it, just let it come back here, and then enter 6. 6 is a really important turn because for a Miata, it leads on to one of the longest straightaways, if not the longest straightaway on the track. So for us, 6, 7, 8 is all a straightaway to 9. And you'll see that here in the Miata. So we're going to bear to the turn-in point on the right, apex the corner, and listen for the throttle if you can, because the key here is to get on the gas as soon as you can. The sooner you're accelerating in this turn, out of this turn, the better you're going to be in 9. Gas on, driving out. You don't really want to use curbs. They're just there when you need them. Apex on the left here. See the little dig out? That's really apexing. 8. We love turn 8. It's a fast corner, even in a Miata. It's a pucker turn, meaning you're looking up there going, can I do this? People always go through here flat. At least that's what they tell you. In reality, most of us lift. Miata, you really don't have to. People often look at the apex, look where you're going. But when I do this turn, I'm on the right side now to set up the arc, the apex. But I'm really looking up about on the runoff curve on driver's right exit the turn, because if I look there, that's where I'll go. If I look at the apex, then sometimes I don't end up where I want. So I'm going to be looking at the exit curb on driver's right so I can put the car there on the exit. Really fast, not lots of fun, nice to go off here. So turn 9, so we shift to third gear. And this one's a little bit tricky for lots of reasons. I think it's intimidating, but again, it's another one of these visual issues. You turn in and watch the apex, get the apex, and drive off the corner in third gear for me. And this right here is where you hope you did it right. If you do go off, just drive, because both sides of this part of the track you can drive on if you don't try to turn a lot or do anything abrupt. Just drive forward and figure out how to get back easily and safely. So anyway, we're on driver's right, using up as much as we can. We're in third gear, so we're going to shift down right past this cone here. And I just let the car wander. Again, I'm trying to minimize friction. Don't want to slow the car down by causing it to go somewhere. Turn 10, 3-degree bank, biggest bank in the whole track. It's a interesting turn, can be a relatively fast turn, but going nowhere. It's a short straightaway. So you can pass here. You can set people up for kind of a risky pass in 11, and it's kind of not too critical because it doesn't go anywhere. What I mean by that is the corner that goes to the shortest straightaways has the least impact on your lap. So we will continue on, apex the turn, got a 3% bank, which really is the biggest bank, as I said. So turn 11. The thing about 11 is that if you do it right in the beginning, in the brake and the shift and the turn, then when you're up on the top, when the car gets light, you don't have trouble. You don't push or understeer and lose the car, because the car gets light, just as you can see on the left side of the screen. Because you're up on the suspension, the car has gone up in elevation and is now settling down or about to settle down. Second gear, third, fourth, something like that. Just straighten this thing out, go down the back straightaway. Notice the Ferrari of Silicon Valley bridge for your next Ferrari purchase. Turn 14. Interesting turn because it's critical. It's the last turn before the checkered flag, so if you're racing, there's lots of options here, including inside and occasionally outside and other ways to win the race if you've got somebody in front of you, alongside of you, or behind you. But this is a left side brake, heavy brake, and the question is, where do you turn in? So that's my line, and I use that a lot. Others have this thing they call the qualifying line, where they'll late apex this turn. I double apex it. A late apex turn would be further out here and be basically trying to elongate the straightaway. I guess it has merit. I like this one. So in a perfect world, you don't get any further out than that because it's bumpy. Apexing turn 15. This is all straightaway for us. We're on the gas. Hopefully you have been on for a long time. We're going to shift at the end of the wall to fourth gear. We're going to get to the top of fourth gear on the end of the straightaway at about 114 miles an hour in this Miata. Maybe a little better than that. Not much you can say about a straightaway except pay attention, check your gauges, and look around, make sure there's nobody doing something behind you don't want to know about. So here again, we're on the gas, about 112, 114. Fourth gear turn. Watch the apex. Important for the exit here because again it's up and down. We're going to still enter in the middle, or sort of the middle, and bring this to a late apex. Nice corner. You can rotate the car by lifting and causing the back to go out. Missed that apex a tad, but everybody misses it. One apex every lap, at least I do. Again, off camber. This is late apex 3, turn 3. Nice corner, good for passing. You can get inside of people here. Turn 4. Really, we're just making our way up to turn 5. Second gear, turn in point, cross the top. Hopefully we're all anchored down on the throttle, using the rear wheels to keep the car going forward and not sideways. Work it back to the right here. Get 6 and get on the gas soon, right now. That's a longer straightaway. If you're catching the car here, you're really messed up. So anything's better than messing up on exit. Nice straightening it out. Here's turn 8. Oh, how brave am I? So we're real brave. So, oh, we lifted. Did we lift? Oh, that's terrible. Don't run out there because the curb beyond the paint is not friendly. Third gear, apex, gas on here too. This is another one where the rear wheels will help you exit if you're on the gas instead of braking or lifting or adjusting. Turn 10, brake, brake, brake. Third gear, nice little deal there. Exit, exit. And then we second gear this one, get nice close there, so you're straight here, and you know running over here usually isn't an option. It's not a really great option, but straighter is better. So if there's barriers, don't hit them. Another Silicon Valley commercial, and turn 14. 14, brake, third gear, apex. Try to get on the gas early. We're getting further out. That's not good. Apex 15, and here we go. That's a lap and more of Thunderhill Park in a 1800cc PTE legal spec Miata.